You're about to discover how to create and use a primary tab footer in your marketing emails. If you don't already know, this is the unknown method for getting out of spam and promotions and into the primary tab with your e-commerce brand's marketing emails. So let's get right into it. What is a primary tab footer and why would you even need it? So as an e-commerce brand, you naturally just want to send out emails that have a lot of images and graphics in them. That's completely fine. It's completely normal. Every single e-commerce brand that you see uses some type of image-heavy email. They're in your inbox all the time. Maybe they annoy you. Maybe the emails don't look good. Whatever it is, they all use really image-heavy emails. But this poses an issue. When it comes to deliverability, which is how much you're landing in your subscribers' inboxes. So like bad deliverability means you're landing in spam. Good deliverability means everyone sees all your emails. When it comes to deliverability, image-heavy content does not perform nearly as well. This is because email platforms like Gmail or maybe Yahoo have a filter which looks at your promotional percentage. This percentage tracks how much of your email is an image versus plain text, like text that you can highlight like this. That's actual plain text instead of an image. You may already see where I'm going with this, but if you want to send emails that are full of images, you can outweigh them by adding more text to the email. Now, what is an easy way to do that? It's by having a text block included in your footer. And right now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set that primary tab footer up step by step. So let's get into the process. Okay, so let's get started on the process. So below is going to be the footer template that we want to emulate with this SOP. To get the black lines in between these sections here, you're going to want to either make it a full-length divider or you can make it a border around the text block in the Klaviyo editor. But there's a really important note for these sections here. And first of all, obviously, all these gray blocks are blocking out private brand information for this brand. But let me explain. So this is a logo. These are individual product or category buttons or links that people can click on. These are obviously the social media links. This is the unsubscribe text. This unsubscribe text could even go at the bottom. And then this is the primary tab footer stuff, which is just a big block of 300 to 400 words of text. We're about to get into the details on that. So first, important, the footer categories. So that's what this part is. I'm about to explain to you why you have this. So as you can see in the example above, like I just showed you, there are footer categories that we set up as a default in this footer section. The reason for doing this is twofold. First, it just looks clean, and when people get to the bottom of the email, it's a nice aesthetic for them to look at rather than some plain unsubscribe text that most brands have. It also just gives your brand a better look. Second, and obviously way more importantly, it encourages a higher click rate. Click rate is an absolutely crucial metric when it comes to email marketing. And the reason for that is because the entire point of an email is to convert someone from whatever they're doing to your landing page or website. So they might be scrolling on social media. They get your notification. Now they click on the email and now they're on your website. Maybe they're checking their email inbox. They get yours. They're like, oh, that subject line's interesting. The email gets them, and now they click, and now they're on your landing page, whatever it is. The whole point of the email is to play the middleman role between what they're doing and your landing page or your website. And if someone is interested in your brand and they open your email, but they don't feel inclined to click on any of the buttons in that email, they might scroll to the bottom, see these different categories, and then decide it's time that they look a bit further into one of them. So many brands will just put these categories at the top of their emails, and you've probably seen that where there's little categories at the top of the email. This is a mistake because it does nothing but distract the reader from the main message of the email. Very simple. Now, let's get into the actual process so that you can set up the primary tab footer. So first, you're going to go into templates in Klaviyo. So on the left-hand tab, you're going to have a template section. Then you're just going to choose any random template. It doesn't matter which one. Just pick any of the saved templates that you have. Next, you're going to be creating a universal footer with the primary tab code, which is the text that I've been talking about. First step here is you're going to add your brand's logo at the top. So this should be literally just the brand's logo. Don't make it stand out. Make sure it's flush with the background. It should be a PNG image. Then under the brand's logo, you're going to want to add category sections that are shown in the image above. So that's exactly what I was just talking about here. Let's go back. So yeah, under the brand's logo, add the category sections. Only include the main categories that are featured on your website, and then link each piece of text to that categories page. Also, just make sure that they're plain text and that it's not an actual button, and that the plain text is linked. The text should still be black with no underline. That's how you want to set it up. Next, under the categories section, you're going to add social media tags. So in Klaviyo, or if you're using MailChimp, I think they still do this, but if you're using Klaviyo, which most of you probably are, there's specific social media blocks that you can add in, and then you're just going to link those to your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. If you don't have any of those, then just delete that icon. From here, you're going to add the unsubscribe text. So Klaviyo just automatically provides that. You can just add it in. And then under all of those sections, and like I mentioned earlier, you can put the unsubscribe text at the bottom of this. It's kind of choice of preference. But under those sections, this is where you're going to add a text block. This is the important part for your deliverability. So you want this text block to have somewhere between 400 and 500 words in it. It could be 300, it could be 600. It just depends on how much it takes for you to actually see results with this and notice that you're landing in the primary tab rather than spam or promotions. But yeah, about 400, 500 words is good. And then you're going to use Google Docs to see how many words you've used. So if you paste your block of words into a Google Doc, you can hit Control-Shift-C and see how many words that is. Next, you're going to want to copy and paste your brand's mission, goals, story, all that type of stuff into the text block. And this is the actual text that you're going to use. So if that isn't enough, like it's not enough words to hit 400, 500, then add reviews or something else that's in the About Us section. The whole point of this is that you just want text to fill in. And the only reason we're pulling stuff like your brand mission, goals, story, about us, all that stuff, is just so that the text makes some type of sense if someone were to go and read it. If you're wondering, the reason that you can't just make the text white and just make it so that it's impossible to read is because from what I've heard and from what I've heard from others, or from what others have told me and from what I've seen, you can actually get in trouble for doing that. And then I think you end up just getting like something blocked. It's just not worth it. Just add the text. And then for the technical details of the text block, here's some stats some specs you want to go with. So first, font size 10, line spacing should be 100, padding on sides should be 10. This should be left adjusted. Font, you can just go with an Arial font. And then at the start of each paragraph, include our story : or our mission : or whatever that section is, just so that it is a little bit clear if someone goes and reads it, what they're actually seeing here. Next is that in the Klaviyo editor, on the left side of this block, there's going to be a star button. You're going to want to hit that star button to make this a universal block. And then you can just title it your brand name, primary tab footer. This just makes it so it's a universal block that you can drag and drop into every single email that you create. Next, now you're going to want to go into an old template of an email that's mostly images and make sure that this is the only footer. So delete the old footer. And the last piece here, or like last sequence of steps here, is that now you're going to want to send a test email to an email account that's in Gmail. And then just make sure the inbox is separated so that you have a primary tab and a promotions tab. If the test email that we went in here to try, if it lands in primary, then you succeeded and this process is done. So you created a footer that's working. It landed you in primary. If the email lands in promotions, go back, add a little bit more text, like add another section, and then test it again and see if you can keep testing it until you do land in primary. It might seem tedious at first, but it's really important because the difference between primary and promotions is pretty big. Now, if you keep going and it's just an unreasonable amount of text, like 3 to 4x of the image above, so, like probably 1,000 to 2,000 words, if it gets up to that much, then this says just let me know because this is the internal SOP that we use. But in that case, it's probably a deeper rooted issue than just your footer or your promotional percentage. In this case, it's probably better if you just send plain text emails to your list a little bit more often. Make sure your open rates and your click rates are good. Make sure your sending reputation is good. All the stuff that I've covered in my deliverability video. If you want to see the full video on how you can get A+ deliverability for any brand, go to my channel here and then check out the deliverability video. I think it was a few weeks before this one. And yeah, just follow everything I say there, and eventually with this footer, you will get into the primary tab. But that's about it for this process and how it works. And just to cap this off, I just want to let you know that we do everything that I just told you about for all of our clients. And we've been able to generate some amazing results because of it. We offer done-for-you email and SMS marketing, and we guarantee to boost your monthly email and SMS revenue $30K to $100K a month in just 60 days, or you'll be refunded in full. This guarantees for any established e-commerce brand, but even if you're not as established, we will still make you a guarantee or your money back. If this sounds interesting to you whatsoever, there's going to be a link in the description of this video where you can book a free consultation call with me. That call is not for me to hard sell you. It's genuinely just a chance for me to understand your business, see where or how we can help you out, and create more profit for you on a monthly basis. So hit that link in the description to book a call with me today. If you're on the fence, you can check out these client interviews that I did with some of our success story clients. These are also listed on the YouTube channel here. Also, if you're still here, I send super valuable content exactly like this to my email list 5 times per week, every single week. So it's both like deep in the weeds, skill-based stuff like this, as well as high-level principles that are really valuable for you to know, really high ROI things to know. I send all that stuff to my email list 5 times per week. So if you want to join, you can join 100% free by clicking the bottom link in the description. And yeah, that's all I've got for you. I'll see you inside my email list.